By now you know that the new is a chromatic didgeridoo. But how long did it take my friend and neighbor to build this instrument? Listen to my interview with Erik. When you're done, I'll ask some questions to check your understanding. Erik, how old is the new?
I finished it about a year ago now.
1 year ago. So how long did it take you to make it?
I had started the body about a decade before that.
Wow.
It wasn't a decade of working 40 hours a week on the instrument, but I had to take a break for a long time because I had to learn how to solder together all of these keys, make all of this key work, and so once I learned how to do it, then I was able to finish the instrument.
But the whole process took about a decade.
Yeah.
That's amazing dedication, too. Now, while you were working on it, did you tell people about this?
I told, a few friends, about it, and people were very encouraging. They thought it was a great idea,
Great. All right, first question. When did Erik finish his work on the new? Do you remember? It was last year. He said, I finished it 1 year ago. Second question. How long did the whole process take? How long did it take Erik to build the new? Do you remember? The whole process took about a decade. Last question. Did Erik work continuously for 10 years on the new? No. He said, I had to take a break. He had to take a break because there was a certain skill that he had to learn. Once he learned that skill, then he was able to complete his work. All right, we have 3 sentences on the board. Can we find 3 examples of the simple past? Sure we can. Finished, took, had. You'll remember that to form the simple past, we usually add ed or d. But in English, there are many irregular verbs, so you need to remember that, for example, take becomes took, have becomes had. Why do we use the simple past? Well, it's obvious, to talk about past actions and past events, finished actions and finished events. Often with the simple past, we can specify a specific point in time at which the action or event occurred. For example, I finished it 1 year ago. We can look at the past and pinpoint a specific time. Also, we use the simple past to refer to things that lasted for a specific period of time. For example, this process, it took about a decade, a specific period of time in the past. This is a finished period of time, a closed period of time. So the simple past is finished, and it's all in the past. There is no connection to the present, there is no connection to the future. If, for example, we made a statement using the present perfect, I've finished, then we could not use the phrase 1 year ago, because that is a specific time. I've finished it. You're simply announcing that you're done. But as soon as you say a specific time, you cannot use the present perfect. You can only use the simple past.
Remember, we use the simple past to express finished actions or events that happened in the past. Often we can name a specific point in time, for example, yesterday, last week, a year ago, in 2002. These actions or events could happen in isolation, or they could happen in a series of actions or a series of events. We can also use the simple past to refer to past events or states that lasted for a specific period of time, for example in the 1970s or in my youth. The simple past is sometimes confused with the present perfect, but remember these 2 points. The present perfect refers to actions or events that happened in the past but at no specific time. It's a general past. In contrast, the simple past is more specific. Also, the present perfect can refer to past actions or events which have an effect on the present or which may happen again in the future. The simple past has no such connections to other time periods. In terms of form, remember that the simple past uses the endings ed or d, so talk becomes talked, live becomes lived. If a verb ends in a silent e, simply add the d. In terms of pronunciation, a voiceless consonant at the end will make the ed ending sound like a t, talked. A voiced consonant like v in live will make the ed ending sound like a d, lived. Also, if a verb ends in a t or d, that ed ending will add an extra syllable. For example, started, landed. If a verb ends with y, change the y to an I, then add ed. Try, tried. However, if there's a vowel before the y, simply add ed, as in played. In a verb like stop, you have a consonant-vowel-consonant ending, so double that final consonant before you add ed, stopped. Look at visit. There's also a consonant-vowel-consonant ending. However, we have more than one syllable, so we only need to double that final consonant if that last syllable is stressed. In visit, it's the first syllable that's stressed. That's why we did not need to double the T. Visited. I know it's a lot to remember. On top of the spelling rules, you also have to remember a lot of irregular verbs. A lot of them, however, you probably already know. For example, the past forms of be are was and were. See becomes saw, go becomes went, and think becomes thought. I'll give you some more practice in a moment with other irregular verbs. Also remember that the negative form and short answers in the simple past require an auxiliary verb, did. We use did not, or the contraction didn't, plus the base verb to form the negative, as in, I didn't play yesterday, he didn't finish it. In short answers to yes-no questions, you can simply use that auxiliary verb. For example, did you download the album? Yes, I did. No, I didn't. Let's do some practice in the simple past. In this exercise, change the negative statements to affirmative ones. Set 1. A. I didn't cry at the opera. I cried at the opera. B. They didn't plan to attend. They planned to attend. C. The child didn't whine. The child whined. D. We didn't separate into small groups. We separated into small groups. Look closely at the spellings. Let's go on to set 2. A. He didn't begin on time. He began on time. B. She didn't blow properly into the flute. She blew properly into the flute. C. I didn't choose to play the violin. I chose to play the violin. D. He didn't draw a picture. He drew a picture. Set 3. A. We didn't forgive each other. We forgave each other. B. He didn't hear the music. He heard the music. C. I didn't keep those old CDs. I kept those old CDs. D. She didn't lend her guitar pick. She lent her guitar pick. Set 4. A. He didn't lose the beat. He lost the beat. B. We didn't ring the bell. We rang the bell. C. The crowd didn't rise to their feet. The crowd rose to their feet. D. She didn't shake the tambourine. She shook the tambourine. Set 5. A. We didn't shut the door. We shut the door. B. She didn't sing for us. She sang for us. C. The music didn't speed up. The music sped up. D. He didn't strike up the band. He struck up the band. All right, last set, set 6. A. I didn't swear to keep his secret. I swore to keep his secret. B. He didn't take music lessons. He took music lessons. C. The soft music didn't wake me. The soft music woke me. D. She didn't weep at the beauty of it. She wept at the beauty of it. This is the end of Part 1. In Part 2, we'll turn our attention to the past progressive.